How are you this
Good
morning?
morning. Good. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. This is my first training.
Oh, good.
I was able to, I know, I was like, finally, I'm like, if I don't do one before this is over, I'm getting kicked off.
You're blackballed.
Ah.
Oh, we have Nancy Reagan.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I can only stay on for maybe about half an hour,
Okay.
but I'm here to
Yep.
help you if you need it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Nancy, is that your actual name?
It is.
Oh, look, and your background's my hometown.
Really?
From the Bay Area, from Marin County, which is just north of on the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge from San Francisco.
How did you end up in this area then?
My husband graduated from OSU. Usually that's all I have to say. Just kidding. He's an Ohio State Buckeye. No, he's from out here, and we met out in California, and then he got a job offer. We'd always kind of talked about moving out here anyway, just because the price of everything. He got an opportunity, and we've been out here 7 years now.
Okay.
So almost 8, and we love it. We're going back actually in June next month for 11 days. So I'm pretty excited. Hopefully I'll cross that bridge a couple times. Well, I definitely will, because we're flying into SFL.
Right.
Yeah.
Nancy, what office are you in?
I am in the Kenwood Seven Hills office. How about you?
I'm in the Legacy office in Richmond, Kentucky.
I'm here in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, Columbus.
Yes.
I lived in Columbus, went to Ohio State.
Okay, yeah, my husband graduated from there, and my boys, we have 2 boys. One's at Wittenberg right now, which is Springfield, Ohio, and the other one's just a freshman in high school. So yeah, we have a couple of our.
Where in Columbus?
I'm sorry?
Where in Columbus?
We live in Westerville.
Sure. I lived in all over the place.
Okay.
Worthington,
Uh-huh.
Upper Arlington, Westerville at one point.
Okay. Yeah, we're right on the brink of Westerville. My boys went to New Albany school.
Sure.
So on the edge of Westerville, I guess say, New Albany. Jen, do you usually give about a buffer for an agent buffer?
Yeah, a little bit.
When I train at the market center, I usually give about 5 to 10 minutes, because let agents get situated. You guys are running around and going from appointment to appointment, so I understand.
Right. Oh shoot, I need to get on.
Nancy, have you ran any Facebook ads as of yet?
No, I haven't.
Are you a newer agent, or have you been in the business for a while?
Well, I've been licensed since 2008, but I was in banking and mainly commercial, some residential, trust properties, that sort of thing, and decided a couple of years ago to renew my license and get into this wonderful field of residential.
Nice. I love
It's
it.
insane.
It is really insane.
Well, right now it is everywhere too, which is it's just really across the board in every state. Like back where your background is, Nancy, back home for me, like houses are going for, like here they're going 15, 20,000 over. Back there they're going like 100, 150.
What?
500. Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I have a newer agent down here that said that they were negotiating, and her client is from like the New York area, and they were going to do an escalation clause, and they were willing to go up to 100,000 over. And I'm like, no, do not do that.
Oh my goodness.
This isn't going to last forever.
No.
So, yeah.
Hello, Daniel. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, sorry. You're
That's-
welcome. Thank you for letting me in, actually.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So I'm not sure if you know me. I'm Jessica's new admin.
Okay, perfect. Yes. Jessica,
You.
actually, so I'm from Market Center in Columbus, Ohio. I don't think that that's one of our agents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a regional training, so,
Okay.
but welcome.
Thank you.
I think, see how that happens. We're 5 after, so maybe we'll go a couple more minutes to let a couple more people hop on and then we'll get started.
So is this an ongoing training with Command and Facebook and everything else?
We've been doing it now. Is this our second month, I believe, Jen? This is our
Yeah.
second month, and it's every day at 10 o'clock, and a different Market Center tech trainer will come on and go over pretty much, we go over every tab within Command
Wow.
along the menu items. Yeah.
Well,
There's
and
a
I
lot
think
to
like
go-
next week, I think they're going to do them at like around the 1 o'clock time frame. And then, so we're playing, I'm a Market Center tech trainer in the legacy office. And so what we do is we try to do different times in case, so we can open it up to more agents.
Yeah.
You mean outside of Keller?
No, sorry.
Definitely within, but just not everyone. There's, some agents do certain things during certain times. So every day they may lead gen from 9 to 11 and not be able to hop on. And so to give
Sure.
opportunity to the agents within. Okay. I think we're about 6 after right now. So we could probably go ahead and get started. And if you guys are going to follow me along, that's great. I will share my screen in just a minute. If I guess we, as tech trainers, we always start by saying when you log into Command, you want to go to agent.kw.com. And that's where we're going to be working today. Today's class is on Facebook ads and hopefully generating leads through those. I do like to go over in this class, the main ad that I have found gets the most leads is around listings. But there are a lot of great designs in our design library that you could utilize for home value ads, for buy versus rent. And I definitely will touch on those today as well for the newer agents. It's looking to get exposure and also just get some information out there. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen, and I have already logged on. So again, I'm on my home screen here, agent.kw.com, and the 2 tabs that we're going to work out of today, and this KW up here, that opens up a menu. I love pointing that out. I use it. I've been in Command for 2 years now, and I still use this every time I come in. I think it's just easier to use the words versus trying to hover over the icons unless you're used to that. So the 2 tabs we're going to be working out of today are the Design Library tab and our Campaigns tab. So where I'm going to start is the Campaigns tabs. That's ultimately where we're going to finish. In here, how I like to explain it to the agents is you are going to create and design in your design center, and then ultimately you're going to push that out to your people or to the public within the campaign tab. So create in designs and then push out through campaigns. So while we're in campaigns, you can see we have the paid ads, we have email campaigns, direct mail, and then the free social media posts. And today we're going to focus on paid ads. With that said, when you go into our design library here, and it does get a little confusing if you haven't been in here, You will see these folders up here. You may or may not have designs in there because I work in here all the time. These are actually my design templates. So they're going to house whatever designs you create in the separate folders. With that said, in order to create a new design or get into a design library, you do have to click on this plus sign in the bottom right-hand corner. So you should see that right down there. And now you can see the correlation with the designs and the campaigns. We have email designs, social media designs. We also have print, which will be like when you saw the direct mail in the campaigns, that's where you can do postcards, which is pretty awesome too. Today in the create designs, we're going to get into the social media design since we're doing a Facebook ad. Before I jump in to that though, I kind of just wanted to go through the 2 tabs that we're going to be working in. Before I jump into that, I'm going to go back to campaigns. So if you have a listing and you are just promoting a brand new listing, you can simply create from the campaigns tab, create a campaign without going into the design center. Again, if you have a listing, and I'm just going to go ahead and click and show you this, and then we'll kind of go backwards a little bit from here. So this is a really quick way to just promote a listing. I would click on social ad paid. The first step, always start from the top and work down to the bottom. So the first, I'm just going to do a 123 Main Street at the top for the name. This could be whatever you want. Typically, if you're doing a listing, you could add, maybe you're doing an advertisement for an open house or just listed. So that's for your own eyes up there. Now the goal, the neat part about the goal is not only what's the goal? What are you doing? Are you advertising a listing? Are you attracting talent? Today, we're going to talk about advertising a listing for the most part. So if I click on this, with the social ad campaigns, when we get to the next page, it's going to give you suggestions of text. So it really helps to make your life easier, as well as it will pull through, it's going to bring up your listing. So I'll show you that in a second. And hopefully, I guess I really probably should have started under settings. You definitely want to make sure that under your name and settings that you have connected your Facebook business page. So if there's anyone on here actually who has not connected their Facebook business page, once you click the where you want to run your ad under Facebook, you will get a little notification saying, click here to connect your page, and that will bring you to your settings under your name and have you log into Facebook and connect your page there. So hopefully everyone on this call has, and we're going to go ahead and just click on create campaign.
I have a question, Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
What if, well, I have a business page and a personal page.
Mm-hmm.
I get more activity on my personal.
Sure.
So can I just connect that one?
So the answer is no, but here's what I tell agents that do that, because we have a lot of agents here that do that as well. So Command will only connect to your business page, which really ultimately you want, because your business page is for the public. It's also for your sphere, but it's also for consumers. So I recommend always posting to your business page, and then from there you can share it to your personal page. And at that point, you're not only promoting your listing, you're promoting your business page, and you're getting that seen by more people. So so definitely always.
May I suggest one thing that has been brought to my rule of thumb or best practice is I I'm a full-time real estate agent also. And I do it to my business page. And then in about an hour, I share it to my personal page. Because if you go ahead and immediately share it, when somebody sees it, they're going to see the two together. But if you share it about an hour later, you'll get those that may have seen it on your business page, and then others may see it on the other, or they may just see it again, thinking that they see it for just seeing it again, and it's not just two there together.
Yeah, that's a great point. Because
Thank
typically
you.
on your business page, you invite all your friends to see that. So once you post and they follow your page, they're going to see that. So absolutely, if you share immediately right away, they're going to see that again. So that's a great point. Thank you. So again, just going through really quick through just a regular Facebook ad without any extra bells and whistles, which we'll talk about next. The next thing that's going to pop up is you're going to have the ability through our Keller Williams listing service to locate your listing. I will say it does have to be in the MLS, or you will have to upload your own photos if you're doing a coming soon ad or something like that. So I don't have any listings, so I'm just going to pick a random one here. And on the right-hand side, I'm going to say all listings. And I'm going to go with just this Pine Street. Unless Jen, you want to share, do you have any active listings you want to share with us?
All of mine are pending, to be honest.
And of course they are within a day, huh?
I mean, you can pull one. I think you can pull up a pending one.
That's true.
103-A, Confederate Drive. It's my most recent, and I used this yesterday.
You give me a word.
ERATFER.
I'm the worst. I should not have spelled Confederate, but like I grew up on spell check. Don't mind me.
ERATE.
Yeah. Okay. I just have to trust myself.
It's probably, you may need to put Richmond, Kentucky, but scroll down a little bit.
Looking for your name too.
You may need to put Kentucky. I see a lot of.
Did I do the 103A correctly?
Yeah.
Listing.
Just choose another one. It doesn't matter.
Okay, let's just go with this. Let's go with one that has a good picture. Not too many. Okay, we'll just go with this guy right here. So in here, if you're doing just a regular listing, it will up here. So let me skip this. So let's talk about what we're looking at right now. On the left side, you're going to see the campaign details, right? So we're going to go through and we're going to check off each one of these circles right here. You can see some of them have checks, but we can add to them. On the right-hand side is what the Facebook preview looks like. So this is actually what your sponsored ad is going to look like, and it automatically populates a picture here. So you could see, because under the goal, we chose that we were advertising a listing. That's when the listing search popped up. You could see our listing is here. So again, we just kind of start from the top and go to the bottom. Under add text, we want to configure that. So when this is going to be where I was talking about when you're choosing a listing, this is going to bring through from the KWLS, which ultimately pulls from your MLS. So this is just the description that the agent has already put in. And then as you can see that populates up top. Now, a couple things about the actual ad itself, and this is a really big picture, so normally you don't have to scroll up and down to see the whole entire ad, but I will tell you, for a consumer looking at a Facebook ad, the very first thing they see is the picture. In Facebook, pretty much you're going to scroll through Facebook. If you see a picture that interests you, that's where you're going to stop and get that first view. The second thing they look at is the headline, which is right here underneath. you can see we have a spot for the headline. So this is the second thing the consumer looks at. So this is where you really want to make the verbiage stand out. So it would be just listed. You know, you could just list it as probably more than enough. You could add a little bit more. You could put in desired location. All caps is a great way to kind of get people's attention there. So that's a second thing. And then honestly, the last thing they do is look at this. So you don't have to put a full description of the house. Ultimately, we are going to link them to a full description if that's what you choose to do. You can add a couple different things here, but it is nice how if you kind of just want to do a really quick paid ad for your new listing, it will auto populate and you just have to add a couple extra things. So the description comes down under here. And you could see this is where it will give you suggestions. So you could be coming home to this. There's typically only 2, so you could shuffle through, schedule a private tour with me today. Kind of takes out the guesswork of what you want to say. I think that's the best one. You want people reaching out to you. So I'm just going to click use selected. So I now have a nice little check mark here. I can save my ad text, and you could see where all of that populates over here on the right. So again, coming straight down, even though ad media is checked, I still want to configure this. I will tell you with Facebook ads, if it's a new listing, you want to have anywhere from, I would say 3 to 5 images. And as I add images, you're going to see it's going to, so they only have 1, which isn't a great example, but I do want to walk you through using the designs ideally. Again, I'm just wanting to go through the basics of adding one. Ideally, I would have you, and we're going to kind of go through this too, is start in designs, create a design that has a banner that says just listed, or, you know, when you're doing just a regular paid ad through here, you're not going to get that really nice banner that's going to come across that front picture. Ideally, you have a lot more images. So you would put an image of the kitchen or the basement that's completely redone. So the point around adding more images is it will create a carousel that the one that gets the most views, I believe, is the one that gets published the most. And with all the different pictures, you're attracting a different audience. I may be attracted to the kitchen, where someone else might be attracted to the basement. So you always want to have, and I say with listings, but with every paid ad, at least 3 to 5 pictures. I'm going to walk through the second one. We'll go through the top a little bit faster, but you will be able to see that when I do the next ad for you. So right now we just have the 1 image. I'll show you in a little bit what that looks like with multiple, but the Facebook ad is the next step. So we're going to go ahead and configure that. So the Facebook, when you start at the top, you're going to see it's under your account. And then here's where you would pick your business page. So here's mine that I have created for myself. And if you have multiple, you'll have to look at that. Now at this point, I believe that this is a default selection. Use a site or landing page. I have always been taught to use the Facebook lead gen form. Now, this is where you're going to get those clicks and those leads from. And by using the lead gen form, if this is your first time doing an ad, you will have a pop-up that says that you're going to have to agree to the terms between Keller Williams and Facebook. If that pop-up doesn't come up, you know, if you're in Chrome, hopefully up at the top, typically there's a pop-up blocker you might want to check that. But when that comes up, if you have multiple pages, you definitely want to make sure that you are selecting the correct page when you're agreeing to the terms and conditions. So I'm going to scroll up a little bit, and since I picked my page, now you can see my business page information came through, my picture populated. So we're continuing to create that ad there specifically. So even though we chose use Facebook lead gen form, we still get to have a follow-up destination URL. So I've had agents do one of two things. And ultimately, it goes back to opening a new tab and going to your website specifically. So for instance, I would go to my website specifically. This is branded with all my information. Any listing on here is going to be branded with my information. So what I would do is I would come here, and I don't know the name of this. Okay, let's just see if we can. This is in Tyler, Texas. So I would search that listing. Oops, XO. I meant Texas. I would search that listing, and we may or may not find it just because I picked a random one. And if not, I'm just going to go ahead and choose this one. So we're going to pretend this is the 1705 Confederate. So then I would click on this listing. So now I have a standalone page that has all the details with the address, all the extra pictures, all of your information branded to you. And then it gives all the different details here, of course. So two things. This is one thing. Some people will take this URL, right, and copy that and go ahead and paste that. And we're under the Facebook ad. Under here where it says when they click this Learn More button, it's going to go here.
I don't know why it doesn't override, because every time you have to delete that HTTPS.
Yeah, so what Jen's saying, and I thank you for mentioning that, right when you put your cursor in here, or like when you, how did it go? Here, hold on, Learn More. So when you put your cursor in here, this HTTPS, so if I were to not recognize that and paste, that's going to be a broken link because now you have two HTTPS //. So thank you for bringing that up. Absolutely. You want to make sure that when you do that, you're highlighting that initial, if you're grabbing the whole URL, because even though you don't see the HTTPS here, it is still grabbing hold of that. And then go ahead and highlight it and paste. So now you only have the one. So yeah, when they click that Learn More, so some agents though will say, I don't want to give them all that information. I want them to contact me directly. So same thing, still on your personal website, but instead of searching for that listing and sending them straight to all the details, a lot of agents will send them straight to this Contact Me page. And that's just a second lead capture page. Same thing, you would just grab this URL, copy that, and then instead paste that there. So completely up to you. When I train, I typically say, search for your listing, send them there. And if they want more information from there, they're going to click on you, but completely up to you. Those are the two usually that we recommend. So in the same spot here, there are, underneath Facebook ad, there's 3 different sections. So under the third section, there's ad targeting. So you always want to use custom settings. And when you are advertising a listing, this is going to come from where that listing is. So what city and state that listing's at. And most agents, depending on where the listing is, if it's a little bit more rural, you might want to do your radius out to 50. If it's in the city, you may only want a 15-mile radius. But honestly, when you're advertising a listing, say in Tyler, Texas, that doesn't necessarily mean that the buyers are in Tyler, Texas. So keep in mind, you do want a little bit more of a radius, because people from outside that area are going to be looking to move in. But also you want to gain more listings. So you want the people in Tyler, Texas to know that you have listings there, and you want them to call you also. So the default is 20. I think that's a great radius, but again, look at where the property is that you're advertising and kind of go from there on if you want that radius smaller or a little bit larger. And then last in this section, expert targeting. Now, I've always been trained, and Jen, please let me know if you know more than this or have different ideas or suggestions. But I've always been trained that there's 2 or 3 main interests that you want to add. And you can see there's a lot of different things that show up. It's always kind of confused me at why I would want to put air conditioning or something like that. You can scroll through them. The more you add, the more I think you narrow down your audience. So the big ones that we've always used are realtor.com. And you can just type it in, and not the pro, but these are what consumers are interested in. So I'll be able to show you what that audience, if I hover over it, you can see that there's a 5,011,000 person audience, people who've expressed interest in or like pages related to this. So again, we're targeting a radius within our listing, but this is also part of that targeting as well. So once I have that check mark, I can literally just highlight. The other one, of course, the one that we like the least is Zillow, but our consumers are still using it. So we definitely want to include that in our targeting. There are 2 more. Those are the two big dogs. The other 2 that I've seen agents use are, I think there's a first time, and it's first time buyer. So there's actually, that's a pretty big audience too. That might not be a bad one to choose as well. And then the last ones I know is homes.com. Again, you don't want to add too many of these interests. If you just stuck with the 2 big ones, Realtor and Zillow, I think you would be just fine. But these are the ones that that I know other people have used. So you can see that those, oh, that one's a little different from the last time I've taught too. Always something new. So that I would say that I'm happy with that. We got our business page here. Our call to action is going to go, I've left it at the contact me page on my website, but you could also search that listing and direct them straight to the listing. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then lastly, duration and budget. So
Did you see, can I ask you real quick, did you see where it said, and I hadn't used it yet, and I don't know why you would really use it, but you can narrow your audience down?
I did. I kind of did skip over that, and I narrow audience.
What the narrow audience is like, you want to have like if it's on the golf course or something like that, you can choose, you can put like golf right there.
No.
Or not. Farm, try that. No. Okay, never mind. But if there's another like accounting or agriculture, that may be one that you can choose.
Agriculture. Yeah, see, car finance is in here. I do know, one thing I will say that I do know, like just from Instagram, and if you know TikTok, it's one of those things that people will hashtag certain audiences that have huge followers, even if it has nothing to do with what they're talking about.
Right.
they will target those audiences to get them to see it. So
Right. And with the narrow, it is like if you include like accounting, you're definitely going to people that have the has to have the accounting, but it may also have the realtor.com or may also have Zillow or first time home buyers. But I don't know why you would want to narrow it down, to be honest with you.
Right. And I wouldn't recommend, again, adding too much more and narrowing it down. You want that broader. Yeah. So budget and duration, we're still going to review that. You can see all of our check marks are green and ready to go. But even though they are green, you still want to go through and make sure that that is exactly what you want to do. So the recommended is 10-day campaign of a budget of $1 per channel. So you could see this is already set at 10 days, and it's giving a daily budget. This is of $3 a day. So total $30. What I say to agents is you want to assess your listing. You want to assess how many times you're doing paid ads. Are you doing for every listing, are you going to do a just listed, just sold? And what's your budget for social media ads? Is it $100? Is it $200? Is it $30? Do you want to split this down to 50 and 15 and 15? Or do you want to put all your money in one campaign that just listed? I will tell you, the more money you spend, I feel like the more views and analytics you're going to get, not necessarily the more leads and the more clicks, but definitely it's going to push that out more. Does that make sense? I mean, I've always thought of course, I've seen where someone spent $50 versus $30 and they've gotten a lot more activity. Obviously, the more you pay, the more they're going to push that out for you. The more money you're spending a day on that channel for that audience to see you.
I typically do about 30.
About 30.
But, all right. Well, I've got to get off here. You're doing great,
Thank you
Rachel.
so much. Thank you. All
right. Bye.
Bye. So that's from there you would excuse me. From there you would literally publish your page. If you haven't done it before, we'll have you add a new card. You could store your credit card on here, your business card, whatever you choose to use. So the next time you do an ad, you'll be able to automatically select that card. And then what happens is, and I will obviously not going to create this one. I will save it as a draft to show you what that looks like. It will be then in your campaigns under paid ads, and the status, rather than saying draft, will say pending review. So it always will be active the next day. If it for some reason doesn't get approved, it will give you the descriptions of what reasoning. I feel like that doesn't happen very often at all. And then once it is active, you will start to see numbers populate down here. This one, the CPLC, that's the one you want to look at. That's where your leads are going to come through. So the number will start at 0, and as you start getting leads, that number will grow there. If you clicked on that number, it will bring you to a complete list. And I definitely recommend taking the Smart Plan class, because as these leads start coming in from your campaign, you absolutely want to have a Smart Plan set up so they will start getting marketed to pretty much immediately. I will tell you one fun thing that I just learned, and it's not active. We didn't see it today, but our Smart Plans can be triggered by tags. So that means if a contact is tagged something, it will automatically start a marketing campaign within Command. Coming soon under, I believe it's the Facebook ad. It's either going to be the Facebook ad part or a new, that it might even be a whole new folder here, but it's going to have tagging. So what you want these leads to come in tagged as, so that will correlate with any smart plan tag trigger you have set up. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, so that is a very simple, straight from campaigns, create that campaign just to get it out and kind of say, I did it. Now, if you want to make a little bit more fancy campaign, what I would suggest is you start in designs. So I'm going to go there now and I'm going to create a couple designs, and then we're going to come back to campaigns and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So we just went through a listing. You can see on my homepage, I have a home value one. I have a rent versus buy. Now, again, this is for the newer agents that may not have a listing. I will tell you, in our office, we have a private Facebook group page where our agents are able to go on there and say, hey, I'm a new agent. Are there any agents out there that would allow me to do a paid ad on their listing? And I'll tell you, we get agents all the time that are like, yes, absolutely. Here's the address, because they want you, they want to get as much exposure for that listing. And you want to try and get the exposure for yourself and your leads. So if you don't have listings, that would be definitely something that you could do, hopefully, in your market center. So I'm going to show you a couple other ones too. So we're going to head into away from campaigns and into our design center. So from here, again, these are your own designs that you've created. So to get into the design center, you're going to click on this plus sign in the bottom right, and we want to create some social media designs. So around our listing for our paid ad. So I'm going to say next. And I'm going to show you a couple things in here. So that last ad we did was pretty plain. It was just a picture of the house. So, but if you click on listings on the left, you have all these great, and I'm going to do social wide for Facebook. You have all these great designs that now have that banner on it, that just listed, that capture image when people are scrolling through their Facebook feed. Again, the first thing they look at that attracts them is that image. So sure, you can have just that house. Some people might scroll back, but if you see these big just listed, these are the ones where you can come in and replace the image with your image, replace the image with your actual listing. And it doesn't have to be a lot. It could be just a simple one right here that says just listed. You don't even have to have the address on there, because you're going to have that. You're going to have that in your campaign. So hopefully, if you've been in designs, here we also have that KWLS tab. You can come in here, search for your listing, and I'll pick a random one. Hopefully with pictures, we'll pretend this is your listing. I'm going to select that. And now I can swap that image out. Let's see, that's a pretty one. It's actually a really nice house. Well, it looks like it's a stock photo, but this is an actual listing. So that just gives it that much more to use from that first picture. Obviously, you want to switch out your logo. They use the all white one here. You could put these on here wherever you want. So just for show, I'm going to keep this one, 1, 2, 3 main, and I'm going to go ahead and just save that. So I just renamed it. And now I'm going to use this as my image, as my first image to capture. So I'm just going to say done and save. So that's for the listing. I'm going to go back into designs, and for newer agents, or maybe you're in between listings and you don't have anything coming up, but you want to do a paid ad just to get those views. You can do, like I mentioned, a home value or a buy versus rent. So I'm going to go back into the social library. Just clicked on that plus sign, social. Next. So remember earlier I talked about having at least 3 images because these are going to attract different people's eyes, different visions. So under, I believe it's lead generation, you have the home value right here. So if I click on home value and social wide, there are 3 images right there for you. Now, really, I kind of really want to go through this one with you guys because this is a good one right now with the market. I would come into all 3 of these and edit each one. All you need to do, because remember, we're just looking for that picture. All you need to do is change your logo, right? Change your logo, add whichever one that you want that fits the image, drag and drop, and you're good. That's really, do you know the value of home? It says everything that we want to say. And I'm just going to say here, I'm going to name it home value number 1 because I want to do all 3 of them. And when you hit done in here, that automatically saves it. So you don't have to, you can come over here and say file save, but you could see it's the default is use autosave. So anything you do auto saves for you. So I'm going to just say done for that one. And I'm going to go back in and do it 2 more times for the next 2 home values. I really like this one also because when we get to the campaign part of it, when we choose one of the goals, it literally puts all the verbiage in for us. We don't even have to think about it. So I'm going to click on that, delete. And if you don't know, I'm going to show you really quick about these logos. If you don't know where to get your personal market center logos, because if you could see, I have all my different colors and some of them are JPEGs with the white background. Some I just have are invisible. And you could see with the different designs, you want to make sure that you have all your market center logos so you can choose which one fits best for you. So I'm just going to quickly show you guys this because I think it's good to know. I'm going to open a new tab. If you go to kwconnect.com and then you go to resources, you just hover over resources, don't click on it, hover over resources, go down to marketing, click on that. And then right here, the first icon is logos and branding. You can click on that. So you want to scroll down till you see the search, which is right here. Now you could type in, I know my market center number is 379, but you could type in your brokerage name. So I'm Greater Columbus, also 379. So what that allows you to do is download the zip file of all of those different colors and scales for your specific market center logo. And then at that point, you can upload them into your command so you always have them there for your use. So KW Connect, marketing, logos and branding, scroll down, type in either your market center number or your market center name, and that will give you, you can download all of the different logos for your market center. It's huge for when you're working in these designs to be able to have the different colors, the invisibles, and all that good stuff. Okay, so that's the second image. I'm just going to go ahead and say home value 2 and done. And I'll save that. And then again, we want 3 images. So I'm going to go right back in, go to social, say next. I'm going to get that 3rd home value image. On this one, I'm going to show you a little bit about the designs in here. So it brought me right back to where I wanted to go. Now, I personally don't like this picture, each to their own. If you love this red front door, that's awesome. I'm going to go ahead and just start by updating my logo like I have every time. We'll do the all white again and pop that over there, make it a little bigger. So if you don't work in designs very much, you have this picture down here. You can see that it's selected. I can now goes to my images, right? Once I select that image, I can go to this company file here. So we have a plethora of images that you can choose from. So if I want to do house interiors, I have all of these beautiful house interiors that I can hover over and replace. It's a little bit more my style. We also have, I love these lifestyle at home images are awesome. There's just so many different things that you can choose from. You can reposition this if you have the ability to. That obviously isn't the best picture because everything's covering it. This one might be a good one. I love it. So you can absolutely replace these images with images from within here as well. Obviously, when you want to look at your design, something where like this image, their heads are at the top, it's going to cut it off, right? But you do have the ability to do that. I like this one, so I'm going to keep this and rename this home value 3. All right, so we have our 3 images. And this again is if you don't have a listing and you're just looking for a social media ad. I can't guarantee you're going to get a whole bunch of leads on this. You might get anywhere from 3 to 30, depends on your audience, depends on how much you spend, all that good stuff. So don't hold me to your leads on this, but I love this ad. So you can see now I have my 3. I'm still in designs. I just clicked on my design templates. There's my value, home value 1, 2, and 3. 3 completely different images. So you're going to attract 3 different, you're going to attract all kinds of different people. So from there, I'm going to now go to campaigns. And again, remember, you create in designs, you push out through campaigns. So same thing, I'm going to click on create campaign in the top right-hand corner. So again, you're going to see these folders up here. I don't have to go to my paid ads. Those are just paid ads that I've created. Right when you get to the dashboard, you can just go straight to create campaign. Now we're still working on our social ad paid. And at the top, I'm going to name this home value. So this one where we're attracting listings right now, before I told you when you're choosing the goal on the second page, this is going to help with suggested text. Literally love this one, takes the thought completely out of it. So I'm going to click on attract listings and we're going to click on Facebook. So where will you run your campaign? I didn't really talk about this before. You can do paid ads on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I know from my experience in my market center working with our agents, Facebook is the #1 lead generating paid ad. I have had agents do them on Instagram, not get as many views, but that will definitely get your brand out there. It will get, you know, your audience to see you and gosh, I can't think of what I'm trying to say, but it will definitely get your face out there more. And then I honestly haven't had many agents in my market center do an ad on Twitter, so I don't know. I mean, I would give it a try if it's something that you're a big social media person on Twitter. I would go there if you have a lot of followers or something like that. But Facebook is definitely #1. So we're going to go ahead and create that campaign. So now, because we didn't select that we're advertising a listing, we're doing something different. It didn't pop up to search for listing because our goal is attract listings. So we're going to just skip the listing part here. No listing selected, that's fine. So we're going to configure our ad text. So go ahead and configure here. And then because of our goal, this now gives you suggestions. And again, there's two. So thinking of selling, not sure if now's the right time, we can help you find out what your home is worth in today's market. That's like literally perfect for what we're trying to accomplish. So I'm going to say use selected. It's going to populate that right there at the top for me. I didn't even have to think about it. If you are an individual agent, you can obviously change these to I can help you find where home stays worth, contact me today. Right, you could also add emojis in here. So I could just search for house emoji and click on that little guy. So the emoji face is right here. I could add a couple houses if I want. Just so you know, if I wanted to put the house right here, even though my cursor's here and I put the emojis always end up populating at the end of it. So you would have to cut it and paste it where you wanted it. So you can add emojis to that. That's what it looks like over here. I know emojis are really big these days. So here's your headline, which again populates right over here on the right-hand side. You can shuffle through. Again, here it is perfectly. What is your home worth? Or need to move. I like need to move. Let's go ahead and throw that. I just said use suggestions, gonna pop it in there. And lastly, the description. Find out what your home is worth in today's market. Sounds good to me. Don't even have to think about it. I'm going to use the selected. So I got now my main copy, I got my headline, and I got my description, and I'm going to go ahead and save that, and I got my check mark. So configuring the ad media, now because this is command and everything talks to each other, you can now select media for this campaign. I'm going to switch gears just a little bit because I wanted to remind you that if you're advertising a listing, remember the first thing I did in designs was created that picture of the listing that had the banner on it versus just kind of the boring image that was just its self image. So you can add images now from your design library. So if I was advertising a listing, I would probably use this one first with the image of my actual listing, and that banner gives it just so much more character when you're advertising a listing. But so I wanted to show you that. We're not doing that now. I'm going to go ahead and select this first home value one. So I'm just going to click on it and it's going to load. Now, sometimes if you come in here and select your images too quickly, you'll get a little red flag that says your image isn't ready. If you immediately go through the process of selecting it again, it will pop right up for you. So you do have to do one photo at a time. So for this image, now I'm going to preview and crop. The wide already comes up for me, but depending on what design you chose, if you did a square design, a vertical design, it just all depends on what image you chose in designs, but we're going to stick with wide. That gives you the whole image here, and I'm going to save that. Now from here, I get to add more images. And this is the same thing like before if it was a listing. So I'm going to add images from my design library, and I'm going to pick home value 2, go through the same process one at a time. Let that load. Oh, so there's that. Okay, so it's a blue. So got it. So it's not ready yet. So that's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and select it one more time. And for some reason, it will just automatically load there. So I'm going to preview and crop this guy. It's already set at wide. And I'm going to save that. So here's that carousel I was kind of telling you about earlier. And I'm going to select my last one now. Oops, I messed that one up. Add image, browse designs, and here's my third one. So it's basically the same text, different image. And the one that gets the most views is the one that's going to get pushed out the most. Let me grab that one more time. Preview and crop. And we're going to keep that. So I'm going to show you. So there's your different ads there, all 3 images. And because we added the logo to the photo, this DBA logo auto populates. Make sure you click that off. Otherwise, you'll have 2 logos on there and you don't want that. So we're going to go ahead and save that add media. And this part is going to be the same as the last part when you're configuring. You're going to select your page. And then for the landing page, I would definitely recommend using this contact me. And then that's going to be just go to your personal website and go to your contact me page. And you're going to take that URL, copy that. And again, make sure you're highlighting that HTTP because you don't want 2 of them. And then we're going to paste that in there. So if they click on the learn more, it's going to direct them right to this page. So hopefully it's a second lead gen capture form. So here is ad targeting. I still want to use custom targeting. For this, I would probably pick the area that I'm farming, maybe the area that you live in. So I live in Westerville, Ohio. So I would select that, and I would maybe do a 30-mile radius just because I want to target more people. And then here for my interests, I always use the same ones. I always use realtor.com, highlight Zillow, unfortunately, but consumers are still using it. And then I also throw in homes.com. Has a really high audience also, 8 million. So I would save that. And then duration and budget. You know, again, this is just for brand awareness and trying to gather listings. So it's not like you have a budget for each listing. So this would be, you're pulling from your budget on your brand awareness and your social media. So that would be up to you. This one, since it's not a listing, you could probably go 15 days. You know, you can have this one since it's brand awareness and looking for listings go longer than the recommended 10 days. You could probably do it 15 days. Just get more time on the internet, if you will. So save, and you would publish just like before. Your credit card would be there. And then of course it would go to pending. It would say pending, and then the next day is when it would go active. So I guess my big thing is designs. Like with these Facebook ads, if you don't have a listing, there's 3 buy versus rent ones in there. Let me edit this campaign. There are 3 buy versus rent designs in there that I've used before when teaching here at my market center. So if I go to add media, you can kind of see them over here too. Oops. So to buy or to rent, these are like the 3 different ones. You could use your websites. I mean, there's so many different options by utilizing the designs and being able to push that out through the campaigns tab to generate brand awareness and also to generate leads. Wow, we got right through a whole hour. I'm going to go ahead and stop share and see if you guys have any questions or any thoughts around this.
I have a question. So you said you've always been trained to do it a certain way or whatever. How do I get trained?
So I've watched so I've been with KW for 7 years, and I've been doing command from the very beginning. So I've seen a lot of like Jason Abrams videos from the beginning. Nick, I watch a lot. I've watched a lot of videos. I follow Jay Cermak on on YouTube. He's a top trainer out of Florida that does a lot of different trainings on here. I can share with you, I don't know if your region has shared the regional tech trainings, but this is just one of, a lot that we've been doing so far. So I will put also in the chat. I'm just trying to do two things here. I will put in that YouTube channel that our regional tech trainer has given to us to share. But again, it's a lot of just watching videos, following people. Regional.
So as a newer agent and not a lot of social media experience.
I would here, Nick Baldwin, let me share my screen really quick. So I put that link in our chat, so you can go in the chat and copy and paste that. But if you go to YouTube, oops, like it's spelled. So you can type in Nick Baldwin. I literally typed in Nick B, and he came up as so Nick Baldwin command. Let's see. He has so many. That's his face. That's the guy. He's so smart. So here's like just one, create a Facebook and Instagram ad at the same time using command. So videos like this will walk you through basically what I just did with you. And those are like the tips and tricks that I have. So here's Nick Baldwin here. I think these are all of his videos. Here's his playlists. So he's a really great person to follow. Jay Cermak, Jaycermak. He's really awesome. He's a trainer out in Florida, like I said. You can look at his playlist, and he's just done so many different things in here. So these are like top-notch trainers, and they have all these videos on YouTube.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Now,
And then,
can you go ahead?
You got that? Did you get the link that I put in the chat also?
Yes, I did.
Perfect.
Okay, well, I appreciate it.
Okay, you're welcome. Have a great day. Good luck with those campaigns.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.